Welcome back, Fox College football. 13th ranked Wisconsin on the road in Corvallis to take on Oregon State. Petros Papadakis will give us a unique look from the field this afternoon. And Petros Heisman hopeful Monte Ball brings a lot of hype today to Corvallis. That puts a lot of pressure on Oregon State's defense.
That's right, Craig, and the strength of this Beaver defense is from the outside in. And when they have good corners, they're a good defense. And I got news for you. This year, they have good corners. Rashad Reynolds is solid, and Jordan Poyer is one of the country's best, an all Pac-12 performer. That enables Mark Banker, the Beaver defensive coordinator, to do some things with the safeties inside the run box and stop that Heisman hopeful Monte Ball. We'll see.
All right, Petros. Good matchup today. Head coaches Mike Riley, 12th year, his second stop here in Corvallis. 72 wins along the way. His counterpart across the field, Brett Bielema, in his 7th season in Wisconsin. Big Ten champs, lost the Rose Bowl a year ago to Oregon. 10 straight bowl games for the Badgers, and they're trying to go 2-0 for the 11th consecutive year. And this crowd has talked about upset. Can they win one today? The Beavers, of course, scheduled to open up at home here last week, Joel, against Nicholls State. But Hurricane Isaac came ashore, and that kept Nicholls State in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Got to handle the nerves of a first game. It's going to be very difficult against the 13th ranked team in the country, the Wisconsin Badgers.
Wisconsin won the toss. They chose to receive. It's the opener for Oregon State, week 2 for Wisconsin. No return. And Wisconsin will start their first offensive series at the 25-yard line. Joel, let's look at today's Taco Bell starting lineup offensively for the Badgers.
Rick Wagner, the lone offensive lineman back from the Rose Bowl team of 2 years ago, 2010. By the way, the other 4, they're all in the NFL. Wagner is an Outland Trophy candidate. Jared Abrederis led the team with 933 yards receiving last season as a walk-on. Now he's got a scholarship, and he's the #1 option for quarterback Danny O'Brien.
And coming to the line is Danny O'Brien, the transfer from Maryland last week in that win against Northern Iowa. 219 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He was 19 of 23 with his arm. This time a little short dump down. And he goes to his tight end, Wozniak. Picks up his 2nd catch of the year. Now let's look at it on the defensive side. For Oregon State, brought to you once again by Taco Bell.
Scott Crichton, just a sophomore, but was a freshman All-American a year ago, gets to the quarterback very well. Fedti Taumoy Payau missed 4 games with a knee injury last year. Best defensive player in the middle, and in the back end, Jordan Poyer, one of the best corners in all of the country. In fact, some services have him rated as high as the #2 corner in the country.
2nd down and 5 after the 5-yard catch by Wozniak. They'll go on the ground. And the Beavers come in and drop Monte Ball to the ground at the 31-yard line. Crichton got the first hit. Monte Ball, 32 carries last week, 120 yards. He had to work for that yardage against maybe a surprising Northern Iowa club.
The rhythm for Wisconsin wasn't there in the second half last week against Northern Iowa. They must establish the run early. This makes it difficult being in a 3rd and 3 situation.
In the backfield, Ball and James White. O'Brien sets his feet up over the top. That ball nearly intercepted at the 45-yard line. Jordan Poyer, captain, left corner. He is a dynamite player for Oregon State.
Poyer read the eyes of O'Brien. They were trying to run a smash concept, high over the top, short underneath. Poyer just out of his reach. Good safety help over the top, making sure that if that ball was complete, they were in line for the tackle. Oregon State, the first 3 and out of the day.
Poyer nearly just intercepted that pass. Now he's back to return the kick inside his own 30-yard line. Low snap. Badgers get it away. Good high hanger. Fair catch waved for. And Poyer's underneath it at the 25-yard line. Offensively for Oregon State, brought to you by Taco Bell.
Isaac Seumalo, one of two true freshman centers that are starting in FBS, the other over in Hawaii. How does he deal with the big atmosphere being a young true freshman? And then in the back end, Storm Woods, another young player, a redshirt freshman, very talented guy. They think he can join the line of great Oregon State running backs that have been through here over the last 10 and 12 seasons.
Under center is a 6'5" Sean Mannion. He's the first sophomore at Oregon State to be named a team captain. A lot of responsibilities on his shoulders. He sets his feet and throws on first down. Incompletes the call, and it was Marcus Wheaton, the intended receiver. Cromartie, the corner, on coverage. And defensively for Wisconsin, today's lineups, again, brought to you by Taco Bell.
Bo Allen, a huge force stop in the run, 330 pounds up front, and he will be matched up against that true freshman, Seumalo. Chris Borland, all Big Ten performer last season as a linebacker, had over 140 tackles, always around the ball. And then Desmond Southward, he's their youngest and most inexperienced secondary player, but he's the most talented of the bunch in the back end.
Oregon State incomplete on their first throw of the afternoon. Mannion goes back to the air, feels pressure. That ball may have been tipped to the line of scrimmage, and it falls incomplete. 3rd down and 10 for the Beavers.
And there was Bo Allen right away. Told you it was a forced stop in the run, but getting in to the interior of the pocket and forcing Sean Mannion to throw that ball before he wanted to forces a long down situation. This is a perfect opportunity for Wisconsin to dial up a pressure against Sean Mannion.
You know, are you surprised that Mannion, of course, tried to establish the pass game, but last year was all about the ground game? Less than 87 yards per contest for Oregon State.
Yeah, but they threw it 3,300 yards with Sean Mannion. Very proficient through the air.
3rd down and 10. Shotgun is Mannion. And whistle stop play.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
This is exactly why Mike Riley wanted to have an initial game, something like a delay a game. The quarterback's awareness, just not what it is all the time when you're playing week in and week out. So the kinks being ironed out early for Mike Riley and Oregon State.
That was Mike Cannon, part of the Big Ten officiating crew today. Our replay crew from the Pac-12, Fred Gallagher at the helm. Now 3rd down and 15. Mannion, good protection, throws short underneath. They get the 5, maybe 6 yards back, up around the 26-yard line. The slot, Kevin Cummings with the reception, and Devin Smith brings him down, and that brings up 4th down for Oregon State.
And it brings on honorable All-American punt returner, honorable mention from last year, Jared Abradaris.
Keith Costa will punt, walk on. Just a sophomore inside his own 15-yard line. Abradaris, a walk-on as well for Wisconsin. Back inside his 30. High snap. Rushes on. Short kick. Takes an Oregon State bounce, and it is touched. Now, it was touched at the 30-31-yard line. And that's where they'll put it when we come back. Monty Ball ready to go back to work. Welcome to Fox College Football, presented by Geico. Second possession for the Badgers of Wisconsin, 13th ranked in the country. Joel, a little surprised that Monte Ball did not touch the ball the first time around?
I was very surprised. He's a Heisman finalist from a year ago. 54 touchdowns in his last 19 starts. I feel like he needs to be established regardless of where you're playing, who you're playing. He needs to touch the football.
He's a lone back. 2 wide receivers up top. Play action, 2 ball, and the rollout is O'Brien on a back foot, throws. And I mean, reaching out. They're going to call that a completion? Yes, they are at the 40-yard line. Jordan Frederick, beautiful catch at 6'3" frame, a redshirt freshman from Madison, hometown product with a beautiful grab.
It's very clear that Oregon State is going to be playing man-to-man coverage in order to stop the run. Committing players into the run box to stop the run, which means guys like Frederick, Abradaris, Kenzel Doe have to win against man-to-man on the outside.
A pickup of 11, first down, the first down of the afternoon in this ball game. Little hop and a skip, wiggle back into the middle of the field. Great run. Montee Ball. You know, you look like a 2-yard game, Joel, and he ends up running for 7. That brings up second down and short.
Petros, you got a great vantage point of that last run. The shiftiness, the wiggle of Montee Ball getting into that hole.
Great feet, wonderful feet, and a real powerful step into the contact zone. Really impressive back to watch. But this Oregon State defense doing a good job of flying around.
Second down draw. Ball follows his blockers, picks up 5, and back-to-back first downs for Wisconsin. Heisman hopeful Montee Ball, captain 3 years, Wentzville, Missouri. Three carries now, 15 yards. That's 5 yards a touch. Last week he had 120 yards against Northern Iowa, but it took him 32 carries. Ball lines up top of your screen. They throw underneath. That's the tight end, Pedersen.
Really good player, Pedersen. He was a semifinalist last year for the John Mackey Award for best tight end in the country. He's a real threat for Danny O'Brien, and I'm impressed so far with Danny O'Brien. He's been very composed and delivered some accurate footballs down the field to his wide receivers so far.
You know, he had 6 catches last year at Camp Randall against Oregon State and a couple of touchdowns. Badgers continue to move the football, now mixing the pass and the run. And this time, Ball could not escape the grasp of free safety Ryan Murphy.
And now on an obvious passing situation, you got about 3rd and 5 for Wisconsin. They were fantastic on 3rd downs last season. 56%, 55 last year, led the nation. 56% in week 1 against Northern Iowa. Man-to-man defense being played by Oregon State. Watch for crossers across the middle, especially your tight end, Pedersen. Bottom of your screen, tight end.
Keep an eye on Amadeus. He's up top. Shotgun, O'Brien. 3-step drop. Pressure. Down he goes at the 45-yard line.
Scott Crichton. Fafita also in there. Too much pressure. You got to commend down the field the defensive backs. It was man-to-man. They did try to run crossers, but you have to have time in order to do that. And the freshman All-American from a year ago, Scott Crichton and company, get to Danny O'Brien and force the second punt for Oregon State.
Poyer back to receive. High snap, kicks up. Poyer again, second time he waves with a fair catch just inside the 15. Oregon State fired up on their home field, bringing the pressure on O'Brien. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. So we see Oregon State on their second offensive series here in the opening quarter. And they'll start at their own 15-yard line. Scoreless here in Corvallis. Mannion surveys the Badger defense. He'll line 3 wide receivers up high. Stretches in the first round carry for Woods. And that is strung out. He'll lose a yard or 2 back around the 13. And Shelton Johnson, the strong safety, with the tackle.
Last season in this matchup in Madison, Oregon State ran the ball for 1 yard a carry. Mike Riley telling us if that happens again today, they're not going to score many points. They have got to run the ball more efficiently and find those seams in the defense in order to exploit Wisconsin with the ground game.
A year ago, Wisconsin ranked 15th in total defense, allowed 316 yards. They were number 4 against the pass. Mannion sets and fires far side. Caught. Drew a couple of Badgers on him. Wheaton with his second catch of the afternoon, and it was Armstrong along with Devin Smith that tied him up. Clock runs just over 8 minutes in this opening quarter.
I think this is a very important third down, especially in your first game. Sean Mannion needs to settle in. You're going to have 4 quick wide receivers here. He needs to make a throw.
Wheaton now with 24 consecutive games with a reception. Beavers spread the field on third down and short. Mannion, good protection, throws far sideline. First down, move the chains. First down at the 28-yard line. Let's get an update around college football. Back to the studios, and here's Patrick.
All right, Craig, thanks a lot. Michigan State, Central Michigan, Le'Veon Bell, 2 touchdowns last week, 2 touchdowns today, as State's up 14-0. Bell perhaps in the Heisman conversation, Craig.
Absolutely. And of course, Monte Bell, along with a guy at USC, is in that conversation as well.
Le'Veon is a big boy, isn't he?
Nice hole. Pushing the pile is Storm Woods. Oh, and the crowd responds. Woods, a redshirt freshman, had a great talk yesterday with Mike Riley about Storm Woods. He was redshirted because he needed a year simply of maturation. He has all the skills you need to play the running back position.
And how about him taking it right to Chris Borland in the middle of the defense, number 44. An outstanding all Big Ten linebacker, and the redshirt freshman just puts his hat right in his chest, drives ahead, 2nd and 2.
Number 24 has good hands as well. He'll catch the ball out of the backfield. Play clock under 5. It's down to 2. Just got the snap away. Good throw. Near side. That is a tough pass, as you know, Joel Klatt. Brandon Cook with the reception. Knocked down by Cromartie. And Joel, time now for today's key to the game, presented to you by Ford.
For Wisconsin, it's continue to win the turnover battle. No team in college football has turned the ball over less in the last 2 years than Wisconsin. They've only had 19 turnovers. And for Oregon State, settle in. It's the biggest non-conference game in Oregon State history here in Corvallis, and it's the first game. Got to settle in and play well in the first quarter. They're doing that on this second series.
Badgers show blitz. They got man coverage on the far side. Pitch and catch. Cooks with big yardage. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 50-yard line. Back to Patrick we go. An update on USC.
Yeah, Craig, you mentioned the Trojans. Ask and you shall receive. Matt Barkley, Marquise Lee. What a start for Lee. Trojans on the board at Syracuse. 7-0 is the score. Craig, Joel, back to you.
Thank you, Patrick. Can anyone stop the arm of Barkley?
Well, they didn't do it the last 6 games of last season, and they're not doing it so far in this season either. 370-plus yards for Barkley in week 1 against Hawaii. Looks like he picked up right where he left off now against Syracuse.
2nd down and 1. Nearly a free play for Mannion. Stands up, throws it midfield. What a catch. And double coverage at the 41-yard line. Colby Prince, the tight end, and I'm going to have to say it, but that was a prince of a reception.
I got to agree with you. My goodness. He turns around and Mannion throws an absolute bullet right to the top of his forehead. Tries to bring it down. He gets hit by Borland. They're wrestling for the ball. It comes away Oregon State football and another first down. And Sean Mannion has settled into this football game. He is starting to carve up Wisconsin's defense with the short passing game.
They're mixing the run and the pass. Lone back now is Woods on first down. Hops and skips, finds a hole and shuts down in a hurry at the 40-yard line to pick up a 2.
Pick up a 1 on the play.
Clock rolls up on 5 minutes, and Petros, I would think you're seeing what we're seeing, and that's a good mix of play calling by Danny Langsford, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Danny Langsdorff doing a great job of really getting the short pass and the running backs going, but I like this running back, Woods.
9th play of this drive, 2nd down. 2-step drop on the hands of Wheaton. close to a first down. Joel, all you have to do is get the ball to Marcus Wheaton. He's dangerous in the open field.
He very much is, and I love what Sean Mannion is doing, taking what the defense gives. They're having a lot of success against Wisconsin on this series when they're spreading the formation out. Wisconsin wants to play with two safeties, and when you're able to play with two safeties, you can run the football on them. Well, Storm Woods creased him a couple of times. That brings the safety down into the box, opens up the outside of the field, and Sean Mannion is taking advantage of that free access corner on the outside.
Two wide receivers, Cooks and Wheaton up top. Deep drop, Mannion poised, and then throws it away. Incomplete. That brings up second down.
Remember during the lineups, I told you there's a true freshman center out there, and we haven't said his name, and because of that, he's done a fantastic job. I was fully expecting at least one time Isaac Seumalo and Sean Mannion were going to have trouble with the snap. They have had zero trouble, and the protection from the front five have been fantastic.
He's the son of the Oregon State offensive line coach, Joe Seumalo. Agnew's in the backfield. Mannion pedals back. There's a flag down. And Mannion tosses it out of bounds.
Holding. Offense. Number 56. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That's on me. That's my fault right there. Of course, right after I praise Isaac Seumalo, you see he wraps up the defensive tackle there. I believe that was Bo Allen underneath, number 96. Just a clear hold right in front of the umpire. The flag comes out. Welcome to college football, Isaac.
Played at Corvallis High School, a hometown product. Second down, long. Set up a screen. They got a wall of blockers. Oh, what a hit. Storm Woods takes a pop, but he jumps right back up at the 31-yard line.
Knocked out of bounds.
How about the pads popping here in Corvallis on week 2? Wow. Storm Woods, the redshirt freshman. Johnson comes up from the secondary. That is a collision right there. Brings up a crucial situation. Sean Mannion, got to be careful with the football. Third down.
Mannion 7 of 10 here in the opening quarter, 51 yards through the air. He'll take it from the shotgun, dances over the top. Again, threads the needle. That ball is caught at the 24-yard line. First it was Colby Prince. Now the backup tight end, Connor Hamlet, with the reception.
They're waiting. Offense is going to stay on the field. Mike Riley going to go for it.
Trying to make a statement early. Why not? 13th ranked team in the nation. And as he called it, Joel, the biggest non-conference game to come to Corvallis.
They're playing like it so far. Defense has been spectacular. 4th and 2. Mannion in the gun.
Woods alongside. Surveys the field. Dumps it up. The ball's tipped incomplete. Nearly intercepted at the 25-yard line. Hemer really brought pressure on top of Sean Mannion. So the Badgers hold. Impressive drive, though, by Oregon State. Scoreless in Corvallis on Fox. Welcome back, Corvallis, Oregon. Here comes Sean Mannion after talking things over with Mike Riley. Joel, very important 4th down right here. They missed it the first time in the first quarter. They need 3 yards to keep this drive alive. The official still standing over the ball. Now they wind the clock. Here we go. Empty backfield. Long snap count. Mannion. 2-step drop, throws, caught, dropped. First down at the 30-yard line. And now the crowd kind of gets a buzz in the house.
How about Kevin Cummings? He was going to get popped Right when he caught that football, Mannion put that ball right where it had to be, out in front and then directly on the numbers. Allows the receiver to protect himself with that defensive player coming up for the hit.
Needed 3 yards. Oregon State got 4. Lone back is Woods. As the drive continues on the boot. Now he sets his feet, looks one way, goes the other, and throws it into the Oregon State sideline. Incomplete. Mannion so far. Petros very calm, cool, collected, but yet no points on the board, and they've really controlled this game offensively thus far.
The Beavs are doing a great job of attacking the perimeter, as Joel has been pointing out, and Wisconsin doesn't quite have an answer for it, but they have to dink and dunk down the field. That 4th down was huge because the Beavs have dominated the entire first half, but so far they got nothing to show for it.
11 of 17, 97 yards for Mannion. He's hit 6 different receivers here in the first half. Straight back drop, throws to the near side. Again, just pitch and catch, and they are dinking right now. Joel, it's 4, 5, 6 yards, trying to move the chains.
I love what Sean Mannion is able to do right now, because first of all, he's getting great protection in the pocket, and then he's just taking exactly what the defense gives him, a simple curl flat combination. The linebacker doesn't go wide with that flat route, and he just dumps it right to him on the sidelines. A terrific throw, hitting him inbounds, and a better catch, getting his feet down. Hamlet now brings up a 3rd and 6 opportunity for Oregon State.
Hamlet, big target, 6'7", puts Manning over 100 yards. And now the 8th play of this drive at the Badger 26. Good protection over the middle. Ball was deflected, incomplete. You had a wide open receiver at the 20. That would have been close to a 1st down. Now 4th down for the Beavers.
I think you got to kick this, and that's what they're going to do.
Points.
Mannion's going to jog off the field. I thought he was trying to force this ball into some traffic. Gilbert did a great job of getting his hand on that football. Amazing athletic play there, but now Oregon State with a chance to finally get on the scoreboard after dominating most of the first half so far.
Romaine will try the 43-yard field goal attempt. He was 3 of 8 a year ago from 40+. His longest 46. Good foot. Looks long enough. Got it. Romaine from 43 yards. Oregon State on the board in Corvallis. Today's game is sponsored by Dr. Pepper. You can win up to $100,000 in tuition by telling us your story at drpepper.com. No purchase necessary, always one of a kind. (3-0) Oregon State. Trevor Romaine, 43-yard field goal. He's got it teed up at the 35. New college rule this season, Joel, as they go from the 30 to the 35-yard line. And only a 5-yard run for the kickoff team, trying to protect the return man. Here we go. Oh, he has to come out. Melvin Gordon. Pause for just a moment. Came out of the end zone, and he'll take it back up to the 16-yard line. Joel, let's take a look at this week's Heisman Watch, presented by Nissan.
Well, I'll start with Montee Ball. We've got him here, 32 rushes last week, 120 yards, 54 touchdowns in his last 19 starts. Matt Barkley, obviously I would say the front runner, 372 yards a week ago, 4 touchdowns against Hawaii. He's already on the board with a touchdown pass against Syracuse. And then Geno Smith put himself square on that watch list last week. A terrific day, over 320 yards passing for Dana Holgerson.
Ball 5 carries for 16 yards. They on a pitch. They spread it out defensively, and a good job, a 1-yard pickup. Ryan Murphy from the free safety spot. Beautiful tackle. Back to Los Angeles we go for an update. Here's Patrick O'Neill.
All right, Craig, well, Texas A&M may present some problems in the SEC. The old Statue of Liberty reverse pass. Kendrick McNeil to Mike Evans, 27 yards. It would lead to an Aggie touchdown. Now 17-10 over Florida. Craig.
Thank you, Patrick. Joel used to draw that up in the playground, right?
Oh, yeah. Right in the dirt right there. There's no doubt. Electric environment down there in College Station, I'm sure. We got a pretty good one here ourselves in Corvallis.
Now they're revving up the amps. Blitz on the corner. That forces an early throw by O'Brien. Incomplete. And Joel, I will say this. Last year, Camp Randall, it was a runaway 35-0 win for Wisconsin. Here, you've got to ride the wave of emotion of your hometown crowd.
Plus, last year's Oregon State Beaver team, very young and inexperienced. You're seeing a team that went through the growing pains a year ago. Mike Riley had that smile on his face yesterday in his office. He said, guys, I feel real good about this team this year. We wish you could have had that first game, but they're playing awfully well today against Wisconsin.
Badgers 0 for 3 on third down tries. Danny O'Brien. Ball stays in the backfield. The pocket collapses and he slingshots it incomplete. That brings up fourth down. And then once again, Oregon State holds. DJ Welch, nice first half, bringing the pressure on Danny O'Brien.
A blitz from his linebacker spot, and he keeps contained. He got himself too far inside, realized it, got all the way to the outside, and didn't allow Danny O'Brien to get to the edge and get that ball down the field. Forces the throwaway. Oregon State's defense has been fantastic today.
Wisconsin punts from the 5. High hanger. Poyer is yet to return a punt. Underneath it, 31-yard line. Head to the far sideline. What a block! Oh, now late flags come out. Poyer 50, 45, another flag. Poyer 30. Well, this one's going to come back.
Teron Ward, number 28. You can tell the coaching staff telling him, got to be smarter than that. Pretty clear that that was at least on the side, if not in the back, and you better be completely squared up.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the return team. Pushing the back, number 56. That penalty's declined. Pushing the back, number 28. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
A little bit more than a push in the back. I got to tell you, but he zeroed in on that.
Launched himself, a 51-yard punt, but the penalty brings it back. When we come back from break, the Fox College Saturday studio will have a preview of the Pizza Hut halftime report. That's next.
Hey, welcome to our Pizza Hut halftime report, which is coming up at the half. Joey Harrington and Eddie George. I'm Patrick O'Neill. A shocker for Penn State. How does Michigan bounce back against Alabama, and do the Tide continue to roll? Well, coming up on the Pizza Hut halftime. Now back to Corvallis with Craig and the guys.
Thank you, Patrick. We'll tune it in here from Corvallis to see what's up around college football. Right now, 3-0 Oregon State. Malcolm Agnew in the backfield for the Beavers, behind Sean Mannion. From the 16, throws in traffic, threading the needle. That's an understatement. How he got that ball through the Badger defense. Marcus Wheaton with the reception. There was no error, no room for error, Joe Platt.
It was the inside hitch route, slot receivers on the far side, and Mannion has to throw a dart, perfectly thrown right on the frame of Marcus Wheaton. Terrific job of communicating with the ball placement by Sean Mannion. How about that? 5.1 yards per play for Oregon State, only 2.5 yards for Wisconsin. Wisconsin's out of sorts.
This will be their 26th offensive play of the half. Stopped at the 25 of that big offensive line with a push to the 35-yard line. Moved the chains. First down. Six to 2 in first downs, Oregon State. And they really picked it up, Joel, after that opening series. You could tell that Sean Mannion was a little rocked with some of that emotion as he came out, but really has settled down since then. From the eye, 1st and 10, 30-yard line. Mannion, play action. 2 and 3 yards at a time. And back we go. Patrick with a Hail Mary to Eddie George, huh?
Yeah, Eddie always likes being involved, and especially a play like this. Southern Utah at Cal. Brad Sorensen, end of the half. Hail Mary, as you mentioned. Cameron Morgan comes down with it. 20-10 at the half. What a play, Craig.
Wow. The last thing Jeff Tedford needs at Cal. Plays like that where they clearly are in charge of that game, 20-3. Now they got to go into halftime 20-10.
Here's second down and 8, 3 wide receivers. Near side, handoff. Agnew. Well, they are popping pads here. Badgers and Beavers. Good block up front by the freshman center, Sayumalo. And the hit put on by Johnson, the strong safety.
Petros, a really solid rhythm by Oregon State and their play caller, Danny Langsdorff. He's given Sean Mannion all the tools to be successful right now.
And you see different guys catching the ball. It's not just Wheaton out there. Storm Woods we've seen out of the backfield. Malcolm Agnew running the ball. Now they got Jordan Jenkins, a third tailback in the game. Oregon State's got it all working, but they have not stretched the field yet, Joel.
7 different receivers have caught a football from Sean Mannion here in the first half. Mannion, 3-step drop, dart over the middle. In and out of the hands. Incomplete at the 49-yard line. Marquise Wheaton, usually a sure-handed wideout, had that ball, took a pop in the back. Good hit by Johnson again, who's been very active for the Badgers on the defensive end.
Looked like he should have caught this ball. Again, another ball on the frame. Yeah, that ball's got to be caught. That's a play on third down you got to make as a wide receiver. I thought it was a good route of getting open in the zone defense, settling down in the zone. Mannion put the ball on target. Wheaton's got to come down with that one for a conversion.
So Costa will punt inside his own 25-yard line. Abradaris set to return. Beautiful kick. Abradaris inside the 20. Sidesteps one tackler, then tripped up at the 25. Well, next Saturday, college football returns to FX with another doubleheader, beginning with 20th-ranked TCU. The Horned Frogs making their Big 12 debut as they head out to Kansas to take on Charlie Weiss and the Jayhawks in Portland State. Will look to pull off an upset against Steve Sarkisian and the Washington Huskies. Coverage of our FX Game of the Week doubleheader presented by Geico begins next Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
I want to know where Wisconsin has gone. They averaged 43 points and 470 yards per game last year, and today no points, 37 yards of offense. We're in the middle of the second quarter.
I formation, O'Brien, play action, good protection, pocket collapses. He's got a man wide open far sideline. Abradaris, the sure-handed wideout with the catch against Northern Iowa last week. I mean, he ate it up with 6 catches, 2 touchdowns, 84 yards. And that breaks a drought was for Wisconsin on the offensive end.
Abradaris coming across the formation. I like that they threw a play-action fake because Oregon State's selling out to stop the run. Throwing that play-action fake buys you some time and protection. Abradaris gets the completion down the field.
Badgers' biggest offensive play of the afternoon, 26 yards. First down at midfield. That opens up some running room. Here comes Mr. Ball. And all of a sudden, in 2 plays, you ask the question, where's Wisconsin's offense? There it is.
How about this vision for Monte Ball? Look at this jump cut. How does he see this? Boop. Oh, my goodness. You want to know why this guy ran for that many yards and that many touchdowns? That's an amazing move from Monte Ball.
Over 3,400 career yards at Wisconsin, 62 touchdowns. First down, 35. Quick throw, far side, incomplete off the hands of Doe. Joel, that was just Ball's 7th carry of the day. 31 yards. He carried the rock 32 times last week against Northern Iowa.
Petros, they said 25 was about the perfect point. Brett Bielema saying 25 touches, whether that's catches, whether that's runs. They need to get him going in the tail end of this second quarter.
They also have James White, but Joel, you hit it right on. He's got the ability to jump over not just 1 hole, but 2 holes, and there's not a lot of backs that can do that in college football.
Shotgun, O'Brien, good protection. In and out of the hands, Abradaris. I don't know if he heard the foot tracks, but I'm telling you, he took a shot and losing a hat. is Reuben Robinson. And with the new rules in college ball, he's got to go out for a play. And we've got an injured Badger.
He hurt him.
Petros, you had a great look at that right there.
Both of them are shaking.
Both of them shaking up. Let's take a look at this hit and listen in. No, just watch how Abradaris, I don't think he heard the footsteps as much as he's just trying to catch that ball. My goodness, Fedti, Taumoi Peau just hammered him in the middle of the field.
Helmet on the numbers. Abradaris is down, will step aside. 3-0. Oregon State. Fox College Football is sponsored by Nissan, innovation that excites. And in part by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you. And by the Samsung Galaxy S3. The next big thing, it's here. Abradaris able to get up off his own, under his own power. Third down. 0 for 4 Wisconsin on third down conversions here in the first half. They led the nation last year at 55%. Play clock at 12. O'Brien calls for the snap. They come with a blitz. The ball is out. Poyer, blindside blitz from the left corner, and O'Brien never saw him coming.
Poyer comes from the top of your screen, unblocked. Daniel O'Brien misses a protection. He thought he was protected on the backside, not even looking back there. Poyer with a free run. Ball comes out. They ruled it a fumble. Arm might have been coming forward. James White ended up going and falling on that ball for the recovery. Poyer pumped up. He should be. The Oregon State defense playing amazing football right now.
Captain for the defense of Oregon State. Big play. Punt is away. Straight up, straight down. Fair catch, 24-yard line. Make sure you stay tuned. Coming up on the Pizza Hut halftime report, the guys will be talking about Penn State continues their disappointing start. How about a bounce back? Or was it for Big Blue? And the Tide rolls on. That's all coming up at halftime. Patrick, Eddie, and Joey.
It's a big series for Wisconsin's defense. The ball's been moved on him. Jared Abradaris still trying to come back from that hit in the previous series, but Wisconsin's defense got to stop it.
Oregon State with the 3-0 lead, trying to establish a run game. And Storm Woods, a hard 1 yard earned on that carry. Woods out of Pflugerville, Texas. And they've had some good ones here at Joel Klatt. Woods alone back, 2 wideouts, top of your screen, second down, play action. Mannion sets up a little bubble screen, wide open. Here he comes, Prince at the 45-50. Prince lowers his pads and is popped out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Colby Prince is going to be the left tight end. There he is, and he's going to block on the play action pass, and then they're going to set up the screen to him left. A terrific execution by the offensive line. Watch him get out and get those guys chopped down to the ground. Colby Prince takes off. Huge gain for Oregon State on offense. Terrific play call there.
Tight end just stayed in, but a little chip block, flew out, found himself wide open, and a big gain of 33 yards. Back to the air, ball is tipped. Caught. Colby Prince again, right place, right time. And they'll pick up a couple to the 38, come up the 37-yard line.
Petros, if they're able to continue to throw the ball with this type of efficiency, this will open up the run game later on for Oregon State.
Yeah, it's a pass in the first half to run in the second half. And the most unlikely of scenarios is taking place here, Joel. The Oregon State Beavers and their defense are dominating this game physically.
Mannion marks the call, Agnew the ball carrier, and he fights his way past the 35-yard line. You saw Abradaris right there. They're going to cart him away. I'm sure just precautionary at this time to get him into the locker room before halftime. Been a very physical football game here in Corvallis. Under 5.5 to play with a 3-0 Oregon State lead. The only scoring a 43-yard field goal off the foot of Trevor Romaine. Oregon State 1 of 6 on third down conversions. They need 5 yards. Mannion up top. Off the fingertips of Wheaton.
Looks like they're going to keep him out there again. Mike Riley going to go for it again. Feeling the rhythm. Good protection from his offensive line on the last play. Mannion just threw it a bit too high there for Wheaton on the outside, but Riley going to roll the dice again. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Only a 3-point lead going forward on fourth down. 1 for 2 on fourth down on the day.
It's a long 4 yards. Mannion, shotgun, steps, fires over the middle. Ball is not. That was probably a poorly thrown ball of the day by Mannion. Brandon Cook's the intended receiver. And so they changed possession. Wisconsin football.
Not only was it a poorly thrown ball, trying to get Cooks across the middle, too hot, too high, it was also beneath the chains. Even if Cooks catches that ball, Wisconsin was there to rally up and make the tackle. So a poor decision by Sean Mannion leads to another series from Wisconsin. They have to establish Monte ball in this football game if they want to get some momentum back.
Only 7 rush attempts thus far in the first half. There's number 8, and not much. He'll get a couple of yards on the lean to the 37-yard line. A host of Oregon State Beavers with the tackle.
He's averaged 142 rush yards his last 19 starts, 54 touchdowns, which I told you about. He's only got 33 yards. This Oregon State defense has been very good, but the play calling hasn't allowed Monte Ball to get established. And again, they move him out of the backfield and into an empty set on second down.
They put the tight end Pedersen in the slot. O'Brien sets and throws, and it's just out front of his wide receiver. That was Duckworth, number 15. The clock stops with 4:15 to play and a 3rd down and 8 here in the first half.
Petros, a new coordinator for Wisconsin as opposed to last year. Matt Canada, the first-year coordinator on offense for Wisconsin. It doesn't feel like Badger football right now.
No, it certainly doesn't. Nobody's following a fullback. You don't have this beautiful big offensive line taking their zone steps and dominating this smaller Beaver front. It doesn't seem right now like they have any identity at all.
0 for 5 today, and that was their bread and butter a year ago on 3rd downs. They throw to the flat, and Monte Ball started to run before he had the football. He looked up and saw DJ Welch, and that brings up 4th and 8.
Dropped back into umbrella coverage. O'Brien just dumps the ball up. They're not going to get that first down anyways. Even though you're throwing to the electric Monte Ball, there were 3 or 4 Oregon State defenders there ready to rally up and make the tackle. And Wisconsin has to punt it away. They have done absolutely nothing offensively in this first half. Big credit to the Beaver defense.
Drew Meyer back to punt inside his 25-yard line. Line drive shot to Poyer. Weighs it, fair catch at the 18. Well, this college football season, Fox Sports is proud to partner with the Prostate Cancer Foundation, the world's largest supporter of prostate cancer research. 1 in 6 American men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. And to learn more, please visit pcf.org/Fox Sports.
For how well the Oregon State defense has played, they're still only up 3-0. 180 total yards so far, but only the 3 points. They've got to find a way to get this ball in the end zone, or else Wisconsin's going to have a nice lift here before the half.
Oregon State spreads the field with 3 wide receivers to the ground with Malcolm Agnew. And a good carry, a pickup of 5. Bryce Gilbert, defensive tackle, made the hit for the Badgers. Well, size is not lacking for Wisconsin, both on both fronts, defense and offensive. I'll tell you, the offensive front, Joel, goes 327 per man. And they're a big bunch up front on the defensive end. Under center, Mannion. Bounce out, Agnew. And Colby Prince, nice ball game. He's caught a couple of big balls, and he's also dished down a nice block here to get Agnew bounced outside a bit and a first down.
Yeah, he's number 82. He set that edge. He allowed Agnew to get outside and find that seam to run for a first down. Oregon State coming out now trying to establish some run after really allowing Sean Mannion to throw the ball quite a bit during the course of the first half.
Clock running up on 3 minutes left to play in this first half. 5 on the play clock. Badgers show blitz, and they just get the Snapaways fumble. And that's a concern that we talked about, the exchange from the freshman center to Sean Mannion.
Going to be second down. Oregon State dodges a bullet. But there's the true freshman, Isaac Seumalo, having to go against that big Badger defensive front. See the linebackers locked up, and he's having to go all the way over there when a lineman has to reach all the way across one gap. That's a very tough snap to get, and it takes an experienced center. He's really got to keep his hand back there and allow that quarterback to get the ball. The youngster doesn't do that. Ball ended up on the ground.
A loss of 1, second down 11. Mannion dancing, throws underneath. It's caught by Woods, but he's immediately taken down at the 31-yard line. Maybe a yard back on that play. Mike Taylor, middle linebacker, or the weak side backer, who was #1 in the Big Ten last year. When you look at the numbers he possessed in tackles, 150, that's staggering. 3rd best in the nation.
He is Borland and Taylor on the inside. They're 2 linebackers, both with over 140 tackles. Borland an all Big Ten performer.
There's a look at Mannion. He's looking at 3rd down and 8 from his own 32-yard line. Steps up, throws, got coverage on the man on the sideline. Caught Wheaton. Took advantage with man coverage, and Wheaton beat Shelton Johnson, the strong safety.
Here's Wheaton working against Marcus Cromartie, just his own defense. Did you see that fake to the inside? He got the safety to sit. That one step buys him a half a step on the outside, allows Mannion to complete that pass. Another first down for the Beavers.
5th reception for 52 yards for Marcus Wheaton. Storm Woods, the lone back. Gets the handoff, slides through up the middle. Woods puts his pads down and plows his way to the 30-yard line. How about 2 plays of 21 to catch, and now 17 on the ground by Storm Woods.
Wisconsin's blitzing their linebackers, and that creates no levels in the defense. So if you can get past the first level, it's off to the races. Storm Woods, a nice jump cut, gets up to the 3rd level onto the safeties. Another first down for Oregon State.
Chains are moving for Oregon State. Another little hop and a skip. Storm Woods into the pile, picks up 2. Timeout, Oregon State. Trying to find their way before half, Joel, to grab a few more points, whether it's in the end zone or off the foot of Romaine. How about this note? Last time that Wisconsin was shut out in the first half, 2006 against San Diego State.
It's not like they've driven the ball down and fumbled or missed a field goal. They just flat have not had any scoring opportunities. Brett Bielema has got to be disappointed with the way his team has reacted after a poor performance and a win last week against Northern Iowa. They didn't award any team MVPs during the course of the week. Try to get them into that blue-collar mode again. Danny O'Brien, the transfer from Maryland, comes in. And they've come out here and they've been flat in the first half. Now, their defense has done a heck of a job in these situations. Once Oregon State has moved the football down into scoring territory, forcing kicks, whether that be fourth downs, punts, field goal opportunities, but 233 yards. Oregon State doing a nice job on the offensive side, 5.5 yards per play in the game.
Second down. Going up on 30 seconds to play. Smart pass, Wheaton the catch, got out of bounds, stops the clock. That brings up third down and short.
That's too easy. Defensively, corners have to understand the game situation. Under 40 seconds, first downs and out of bounds will stop the clock, and you just allow them to throw a hitch. That's too easy. A quarterback and a wide receiver will be able to do that all the way down the field. Wisconsin has got to adjust their coverage right now.
Third down and 3. 32 ticks left on the first half clock. And Mannion back under center. Up top. Out of bounds, Kevin Cummings. Put it right up top, and Cummings with the reception, but out of bounds.
Good coverage from the secondary. That's number 5, Darius Hillary. He goes up, gets a hand in the face of Cummings, who was out of bounds anyways. Mannion with a pretty accurate throw, but Wisconsin again forcing a kick. Gets itself off the field. Another field goal try for Oregon State.
Trevor Romaine hit from 43 earlier in this quarter. This will be from 40 yards. Right hash. Kicks away. No good. Romaine misfires from 40.
A huge boost for Wisconsin. That wasn't even close. Tries to act at the end like he gets knocked down for running into the kicker, but not even close. That's about 10 yards wide after hitting one from 43 earlier.
Well, Wisconsin will go to the locker room here in a moment. Plenty to talk about. This will be their 7th possession, 66 yards. And O'Brien flips the ball to the official. Oregon State dominates half number 1, Joel, but comes away with just 3 points.
They never created any rhythm for themselves, and you got to credit Oregon State because defensively they were flying around, stopping the run. When those opportunities presented themselves, Oregon State's got to be thrilled going into halftime with a 3-0 lead.
Oregon State will get the football when we start the second half. Right now, the Beavers up by 3. Let's take you now to the Pizza Hut halftime report. Here's Patrick.
All right, Craig, thanks a lot. Hanging out with Eddie and Joey. Next on the Pizza Hut halftime, Texas A&M's debut in the SEC. Did Michigan rebound in the Big House? And, well, another disappointing result for Penn State. That is all next on the Pizza Hut halftime. Keep it here.
Welcome to the Pizza Hut halftime. Pizza Hut, make it great.
Wow, what a game we've got going on in Corvallis. Oregon State with a 3-0 lead over the 13th ranked Wisconsin Badgers. And here with Eddie George and Joey Harrington. Well, Brett Bielema's Badgers in a bit of trouble right now. Joey, tell me what you're seeing so far in this game.
Well, it's what I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing Russell Wilson out there. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge key for Wisconsin. People don't realize how big he was to this team. He was the only player in college football to have a better efficiency rating last year than the Heisman Trophy winner. And you're also seeing, let me back up, not that O'Brien isn't doing a good job, but he doesn't bring what Russell Wilson does. You're also seeing Oregon State play fantastic defense, which is what they needed to do against this Wisconsin team.
Yeah, but to your point, Russell Wilson was a huge part of what they did last year, but the offensive line for Wisconsin, they're not establishing themselves. It may be because of Oregon State's defensive front, but they're not moving the football. That 3rd and 2 play early in the first half did not convert on that. Last year, there were 55% in the country on 3rd down conversion rates, number 1 in the country. Today they're 0 for 5. So that's the biggest difference. The big boys up front are not establishing any type of movement downfield.
Yeah, we'll have more on this game. It's going to be exciting second half for sure on this Fox College Saturday. A&M, Joey, welcome to the SEC, taking on Florida.
Exactly. How's A&M going to do against the Florida Gators? Mike Gillislee takes it in for a 1-yard touchdown, putting Florida up 7-3. But the old Aggies come back. You like that stripes on the shoulder?
I don't like it.
Kristen Michael up the middle for a 1-yard touchdown.
Hey, Eddie, Bama, what a job they did against Michigan. Now they got Western Kentucky.
Yes, 40-point favorites in the game. Let's see if they can get to that point. McCarron hits Kevin Norwood for a 33-yard touchdown, putting Bama up 14-zip. And again, McCarron hits Christian Jones for the 22-yard touchdown. This play would be reviewed, but ruled a touchdown catch. And it's 28-0, almost that 40 points.
Hey, Joey, Lightning is delaying the second half of USC taking on Syracuse in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
That's why Mark Sanchez isn't smiling, because he wants to see some fireworks, not lightning. There's the fireworks. Matt Barkley to Marquise Lee, 13-yard touchdown. You can smile a little bit. Come on, these are your boys. Later in the quarter, Matt Barkley to Robert Woods for a 29-yard touchdown. He's just got players everywhere.
All right, Joey, Michigan and Air Force, it's not the Bama defense, so Denard Robinson have an easier time?
You know what? I'll take this one because Michigan, I am not a big fan, but hey, Denard Robinson takes the hands off and he goes 79 yards. First play from scrimmage in the second half, putting Michigan up 20-16. They're 17 right now.
Michigan State, Joey, and Central Michigan.
Can you say Le'Veon Bell?
Yes,
This is a name that you're going to have to get used to, college football fans. This guy is having a fantastic season already 2 weeks in. Drops in for a 7-yard touchdown. Michigan State 14-0. Kirk Cousins who? Andrew Maxwell making people forget about Kirk Cousins and Deion Sims for a 20-yard touchdown. This could be the team in the Big Ten. This could be the team.
I told you. No jet lag for Notre Dame, Eddie, taking on Purdue.
Yeah, Notre Dame hosting Purdue. You'll see Everett Golston runs for a 3-yard touchdown, hits the pylon. Initially, it looks like a touchdown. It looks like it's not a touchdown. They'll review it. The play will be reversed. He crosses the plane getting in, putting up Notre Dame 7-0. It is a touchdown. And the Golden Domers are tied up with Purdue. And you see Robert Marv hit Edison for the 2-yard touchdown. And it's all tied up in South Bend.
All right, you have Alabama number 1, USC number 2. We saw A&M going into the SEC. What do you like most that you saw so far there in the first half of those games?
You know what? I'm just excited to see A&M play in the SEC. We've heard about it for so long. How are they going to do with the big boys of the SEC? You know what? I think we're seeing how good the Big 12 really is. I don't think they've gotten a lot of respect over the last few years. They're a solid conference. They've got great teams, and they can hang with the SEC.
And the physical play that A&M is putting out there. You're seeing a lot of bodies from the Florida players going off from the sideline hurt. And, you know, they're talking about SEC football being very physical, and it is. But A&M playing very physical, especially in the trenches.
All right, so we're talking about the Aggies. That's going to get us to our Pizza Hut greatest plays of the day. Joey, so who do you think has made it great today?
A&M. Johnny Manziel fakes the pass, hands off to Kendrick McNeil, who passes to Mike Evans for a 27. What do we call it? The fake Statue of Liberty reverse pass down to the 12-yard line, sets up a would-be 1-yard touchdown later in the quarter.
Eddie, how about you?
I'm going out west, or out here where we're at right now, and it's Brad Sorensen with the Hail Mary pass to Cameron Morgan for the touchdown. Great concentration, getting both feet in, sees the tip pass one-handed, snatches it in, and Cal is up 20-10 at halftime.
A great thing I'm asking Joey Harrington, how do you call that A&M plays? Like, you can call it anything you want. That's the great thing. Look for more great plays of the day. For pizza, make your day great.
Welcome back to the Pizza Hut Halftime. Pizza Hut, make it great.
And welcome back, everybody. Once again, Dr. Pepper changing lives with the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. Go to drpepper.com. Tell your story by uploading a video. You could win up to $100,000 in tuition, possibly appear on Fox during halftime of the 2012 Pac-12 or even the Big Ten championship game. No purchase necessary. Always one of a kind. Back here in our Our Fox Studios here in Los Angeles with Joey Harrington and Eddie George, Patrick O'Neill. Let's get right to some highlights. And, of course, Penn State, we know, coming off of that emotional loss. And, again, they had this game against Virginia right where they wanted.
You know, you hate to see this happen to Penn State for a second week in a row. Back and forth all day. Matt McGloin in and out with an elbow injury. But it's Michael Rocco at the end throwing to Jake McGee for a 6-yard touchdown pass to put Virginia up 17-16. Now, remember, Penn State kicker Sam Ficken had missed 3 field goals and a PAT up to this point. Misses his 4th of the day, wide left. Virginia 17, Penn State 16. You got to feel for those guys on the road.
Yeah, you do. All right, tough one there for Penn State. See how they're able to bounce back. They are now 0-2. Other finals. Look at Braxton Miller. In 2 games, he's rushed for over 300 yards. Urban Meyer and the Buckeyes win 31-16 over Central Florida. You have the Gamecocks, South Carolina, 9th ranked, 48-10 over East Carolina. Clemson victorious today over Ball State big, 52-27. Boyd, 3 touchdowns on the day. And we have some scary news right now to tell you. It's Tulane and Tulsa. And Tulsa safety Devin Walker ended up suffering a broken neck and a collapsed lung on this play, colliding with a teammate. Walker was revived on the field, and they had to he actually stopped breathing momentarily, but because of an IV and CPR, he was helped out. Let's get Tulane head trainer.
You guys all know Devin got hurt into the first half. The Tulsa medical staff did a great job taking care of him. Full compliments to them. He's at the hospital right now. He's stable and currently in traction. He did sustain a cervical spine fracture. He's got a lot of edema in his neck. He's currently in traction. He's being treated for that edema. And the plan currently is for him to have surgery in the next day or 2. He's got there are a great spine surgeon, neurosurgeons involved. That's kind of all we know at this point.
Again, according to those wire reports, broken neck and a collapsed lung for Devin Walker, a senior. He just earned a scholarship, had been a walk-on. You just really hate to see it. Just shows you how fragile and how tough this game is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we just wish him well. You know, at this point, that's what you can hope for. You're glad to hear that he's stabilized. They did a fantastic job on the spot at Tulane or Tulsa to get the job done and to stabilize the young man. And we're just glad that he's, can recover well.
Absolutely. Wish him well. That's all you can do is wish him well.
Prayers and thoughts to the Walker family. But, of course, the games must go on, and the game that you're watching here today on Fox is a good one. You have Wisconsin trailing at the half. Pretty surprising how well Oregon State's been able to come out and play. They have to play with emotion. They're doing that.
You know, Wisconsin came out extremely flat. You know, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They don't even have over 100 yards of total offense. Typically, last year, when they were averaging 40 points a game, they had that in one drive. So I'm anxious to see how they're going to come out the second half with a little bit more of emotion, a sense of urgency, and see if they can come back and put some points on the board.
Yeah, I want to see Wisconsin be Wisconsin. I mean, this is a team that has relied on running the football, and they've gotten away from that. They got away from it because Russell Wilson was so good. Be Wisconsin. Run the ball, get it down Oregon State's throat, and go back to the type of football you play.
It was interesting. Badgers' first possession. Ball didn't even get a carry, so we'll see what changes. We promise you, second half kickoff coming up from Corvallis. The guys have the call next.
A hard-hitting first half here in Corvallis, Oregon. Oregon State dominating offensively, but yet only a 3-point lead. Craig Bolerjack and Joel Klett, welcome back. Boy, interesting storyline here. 13th ranked Wisconsin. Doesn't look like Badger football right now.
No, it doesn't. Offensively, they haven't been able to run the ball, and that's been the staple of Brett Bielema and really all the way back to Barry Alvarez when you're talking about Wisconsin. So Oregon State doing a heck of a job defensively, especially in the middle of their defensive front, not allowing Monte Ball to get loose. Monte Ball only 34 yards in the first half, and because sacks count against rushing yards, Wisconsin only 18 rush yards, 1.5 yards per rush for the Wisconsin Badgers, with an offensive line that averages 320 pounds a pop against a very small defensive line for Oregon State. Oregon State's done a heck of a job running to the football and tackling in the open field.
All right, so that brings us to adjustments as we look at the first half stats brought to you by Geico. Rush yards, obviously a big concern for Wisconsin.
Absolutely. They've got to get that going in the second half. The adjustment for me would be trying to attack the perimeter of the Oregon State defense, because the middle has been so stout with that defensive line. Monte Ball has got to get loose on the outside, and then Danny O'Brien's got to get better on third down. 0 for 6 on third down. They need those first downs in order to develop continuity through the play calling during the second half. Here's the quarterback comparison. Danny O'Brien, Sean Mannion. Sean Mannion, 177 yards. He threw the ball 30 times. It was very clear that Wisconsin was going to sell out to stop the run. Oregon State was going to allow them to do that, take the easy throws on the outside. But Danny O'Brien's got to step up. Transfers from Maryland, has 2 years of eligibility left. He's a junior, and he needs to step up. The former freshman of the year in the ACC needs to have a big half for Wisconsin here in Corvallis.
Wisconsin won the toss to start this game. They chose to receive, so Oregon State will have the football to start this third quarter. And you get the feeling with his hometown crowd of the way that Oregon State ran the football or ran their offense, Joel, this should be like a 17-0 game.
And
I know
that's
the folks
danger.
in Madison are concerned with the way the Badgers have performed in the first 2 quarters.
But that's the danger for Oregon State. You dominate a football game, and all of a sudden it's just 3-0. It's one play away from you having a deficit. Mike Riley needs more points on the board.
Kyle French is sent to kick away from the 35-yard line. Marable in the end zone and is chopped down inside the 15-yard line. Petros, you had a chance to talk to both coaches. I know you just got done talking to Wisconsin. What's the feel on that field right now?
Well, the feel right now is that Brett Bielema feels fortunate to only be down 3 in this game. He wants a better push up the middle from his offense. He wants better play on the perimeter from his offense, and he wants them to be better on second and third down. He feels fortunate, though, that his defense, after 44 plays, only down 3. Obviously, Mike Riley wants more points. Should be a great second half, guys.
So here we go. We start at the 15-yard line. 3-0 Oregon State, third quarter. Under center is Mannion. Storm Woods pushes the pile for a tough 2 to the 17. Shelton Johnson, Pat Muldoon with the initial hit. And losing a hat is Woods. He'll go to the sideline. Interesting rule change this year. Joe, I tell you, anyone who plays, I would just think, you know what, you just strap it a little bit tighter.
It used to be just an equipment timeout.
Yes.
You come off, you adjust the chin strap. Now you got to come out for a play unless there is a foul and your helmet comes off due to an infraction, then you can stay in the game.
Malcolm Agnew jumps in. Mannion sets and fires. Incomplete, batted down by Wisconsin. Reaching out was Cromartie. Number 14, the senior out of Mansfield, Texas.
He's got good makeup speed. Watch how there's a step created, and then it's cut down by Cromartie. He comes over the face of the tight end to bat that ball down. Very good coverage from Marcus Cromartie, the senior from Mansfield, Texas.
Wisconsin adds a nickel back in Hillary. It's a passing situation on third down and 7. Pressure from the edge, right on the money. Found a little seam and threw a dart to Marcus Wheaton. Making his 18th consecutive start for Oregon State, and on a big third down, Oregon State picks up 18.
How about the adjustment by Marcus Wheaton to go back to his back shoulder and catch that ball going down to the ground? What a terrific adjustment on the route. Breaks, ball behind him, goes down to the ground, secures it for the first down.
Into the pile goes Agnew. He'll pick up maybe 2 yards to the 37.
They've been so active throwing the football. Already 7 catches on the day for Marcus Wheaton, 75 yards, an average of just under 11 yards per catch. So not all the way down the field, but very efficient underneath the number 2.
Yeah, he's all-time now 10th in 10th place at Oregon State in receiving yards. 1,825 and counting. There's a timeout on the field. 3-0 Oregon State. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Victory Motorcycles. Ride one and you'll own one. And by Pizza Hut. Make it great. Corvallis, Oregon. Oregon State at home, up by 3. Last year, a totally different ball game in Madison at Camp Randall. 35-0 Badgers. Sean Mannion got a taste of what college football is all about in that ball game today. He has dominated, but yet Joel Klatt still just a 3-0 ball game.
An important series for Oregon State after only having a 3-0 edge at half, but dominating the football game. This in the first series now in the second half. I believe points are at a premium for Sean Mannion and the Beaver offense.
Second down from the eye. Little draw. One tackle broken. Agnew to midfield and beyond. Cromartie and that secondary had to come up and make the stop. He got into the third level after being nearly taken down right at the line of scrimmage, a pickup of 16.
Well, they're going to corner blitz, which makes the defense rotate. That defense in the back end rotates. 53 has to come out of the box, which means one block against Portland in the middle opens up that entire lane for a first down.
Agnew chopped down, regained his feet to the line of scrimmage. He'll be second down. Agnew has that breakability. Last season, week 1, Sacramento State, 223 yards and 3 touchdowns. The rest of the season, though, 56 carries for 200.
Last year against Wisconsin, they only averaged 1 yard a carry. Today, 18 rushes, 82 yards on the ground for over 4.5.
Play clock to full. And you got the snap, throws, caught, pitch and catch, Wheaton. And out of bounds he goes at the 37-yard line, close to a first down.
The chess match being played between the coordinators is always fascinating for me to watch. As soon as the run game starts being established by Oregon State, Wisconsin commits another defender into that run box, Greg, allowing one-on-one coverage on the outside. Sean Mannion recognizes that and gives Wheaton the ball right away, allows him to exploit the one-on-one defense.
207 yards now for Sean Mannion, 12th consecutive game with 200 or more yards for Oregon State. He wants some more. Flies it out to the flat, breaks a tackle down the sideline and dances out of bounds at the 18-yard line.
I want you to watch the block of Marcus Wheaton. He's going to get out in front of Cooks and get Cromartie to the ground right there. Just that slight hesitation that Cromartie has to make to back up from Marcus Wheaton allows Cook, the running lane, to get down inside the 20-yard line.
Back-to-back pass plays of 12 and 18 yards. And the confidence growing snap by snap for Sean Mannion. 225 yards early here in the third quarter. First and 10. And now a flag flies. The play clock had run out. Delay a game.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Mike Riley upset with his young quarterback. That is a momentum killer for a drive. Riley almost threw that headset all the way down to the turf. You must be aware of the play clock as a quarterback. It is the quarterback's responsibility. However, you can always be helped out by the sidelines, who can call a timeout for you. So both the sidelines and Mannion falling asleep on the same play.
Three-step drop, up top he goes, man coverage and overthrows the shoulder of Marcus Wheaton, who clearly has become Mannion's favorite target.
Petros, Wheaton is getting one-on-one coverage, and Mannion wants to exploit it. I thought Wheaton ran a great route. Mannion just overthrew him on that last play.
And he had a little room out here to the edge. He could have gotten out there. The one thing that impresses me, Joel, is Mannion very confident. I mean, he stands up and throws with the best of them. He's not afraid.
10th play of this drive. Second down, 15 on the ground. Stop, starts again. Third effort. Inside the 15, rumbles Agnew.
Petros, there's that jump cut that we saw from Monte Ball. This time, it's Agnew, jumps all the way out to the outside to find the crease.
Right now, Agnew has caught a rhythm at tailback, and they're bringing him out of the game and bringing in their third down back, Jordan Jenkins. But Agnew is a guy I thought would be the starter this entire season. It turned out to be Storm Woods. He won the job in camp, but Agnew's got the rhythm right now, and I like his balance, really good balance.
Wisconsin's having trouble making the tackle on this series for Oregon State. Third down. And the whistles will stop play. Flags are down at the 15. I don't think Mike Riley's going to like this call.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 2, offense. 5-yard penalty.
Riley's watching his offense self-destruct here on this drive because Wisconsin has not stopped Oregon State on this drive. These penalties now putting them behind the 8 ball. Now a 3rd and 12 situation, which makes it even harder because they are in the red zone at the 20-yard line. Wheaton at the bottom of your screen.
Need 12 yards to move the chain. Sets his feet, throws to the end zone. Touchdown! And the money to Cooks.
Almost looked like a blown assignment.
Got a flag down inside the 10.
Result of the play is a touchdown. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 77 of the offense, taking his helmet off. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. We'll play the PAT.
Technicalities entering college football. None of us like it. The officials forced by the rules committee to make those type of calls, but a nice touchdown from Oregon State. After a couple of penalties hurt them in that drive. The delay of game and the false start, they were able to still convert for a TD.
Extra point, splits the uprights. And Oregon State, opening drive of half number 2. It's Mannion to Brandon Cooks. Oregon State up 10 on 13th ranked Wisconsin. Back in Corvallis, Sean Mannion and this Beaver hometown crowd, they're all growing up together. He celebrates and they celebrate alongside the touchdown throw of 20 yards. 11 plays, Joel, 86 yards, 5.5 minutes off the clock. On that drive, Mannion 4 of 6 for 68 yards.
They played so much better late in the season last year, and you can tell that that momentum that they created has carried forward into this year. Now up 10-0 over Wisconsin in their first game. Remember, Nicholls State was on their schedule first, but Nicholls State, because of Hurricane Isaac, had to stay down in the Gulf area. Couldn't get up here. So this is their first game. They played fantastic.
That penalty forces a kick at the 20-yard line. James White, the return past the 40. And Wisconsin will be at the 42-yard line to start their first drive of the second half. Petros, frustration right now for Wisconsin.
You know, it's very interesting, guys. When Oregon State got the ball right off the bat on that great drive, Wisconsin forced a third down, and Monte Ball got up. He started to rile that offense up. He started to stretch his legs. He was smiling, trying to get these guys going. And Oregon State converted the third down and marched all the way down the field and scored. They all had to sit back down. A lot of frustration with the Badgers right now. Let's see if they take it out on the Beavs D.
There's O'Brien, 4 of 11 passing this afternoon for 46 yards. Down by 10. Takes the snap. Hands off. Monte Ball. Stacked up, no gain. Only his 9th carry of this football game. DJ Welch, who's played a fine game from the Sam linebacker position with the tackle. 35 yards, and this man is a dangerous weapon. 142 yards. That's his average in 19 starts in Wisconsin.
He's only gotten the ball 9 times. They've got to get him the ball, establish a rhythm with Monte Ball.
2 wide receivers up top. Ball tries to bounce outside. Oregon State pursues with Welch again.
This offensive line is big of Wisconsin, but these are not the same players that have mowed down opponents for the last couple of years. In fact, if you go back to 2010 in their Rose Bowl team, there's only one player left on this offensive line. That's Rick Wagner, the Outland Trophy candidate. All the other offensive line have been replaced. Zeitler, Kahns, Karimi, and Moffitt all are in the NFL off that team. They've had a lot of young guys up there.
0 for 6 on third down conversions. Third down and 12. O'Brien throws. Intercepted. Ryan Murphy. He's playing free. And O'Brien let that ball kind of float in no man's land. And Murphy with the interception. And remember, turnovers just don't happen to Wisconsin.
This is the first turnover of the season. Flying in from his safety position, Ryan Murphy intercepts the Danny O'Brien pass, and Oregon State back in business on offense.
Oregon State 45-yard line with a 10-0 lead. Agnew picks up 2.
We were able to see this Oregon State team about in the middle of the rebuilding process last year. Craig, you and I and Petros, and they're a completely different bunch today than they were last season. That rebuilding process has clearly gone very quick. Wisconsin, on the other end, they also don't look anything like last year. This ball club struggling to find a rhythm.
Movement up front. That's an interesting point because Coach Bielema told us straight up, look, I'm looking back at film last year.
Offside. Defense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So the jump is against Wisconsin. What he was trying to say is, look, they're 20 pounds bigger and more experienced. Yeah, I worry about them. First penalty thrown against Wisconsin in this game. Second down short. Call it 3. Play action. It's a home run ball in traffic, incomplete. Now the crowd, the hometown crowd wants a flag. They won't get it. But Cromartie and Southward on the double team.
Cromartie trying to catch up. There's Southward trying to get over there. The ball just hangs a little bit and is behind Wheaton. Crowd wanting a flag for pass interference, but how about Sean Mannion? He got crushed in the pocket. Stood tall, tried to make that throw. Now you know why that ball was a little underthrown.
Play clock under 5. Mannion, shotgun, third down 3. Blitz from the side. Ball caught and dropped. That was Jenkins. number 34, and his hat pops off. That means a quick jog to the sideline.
Had it, then dropped it. Those are big conversions in a big game. It's still only a 10-point game. He was ahead of the sticks. Conversion opportunity lost for Oregon State, and Wisconsin, their defense has hung tough. They have gotten themselves off the field time and time again. And again, they force a punt for the Beavers.
Costal will punt away to James White. So Wisconsin, there's a muff snap. And Costal has to cover up. Now the tides turn a bit. Wisconsin will get the football at the 36-yard line.
Just goes through his hands. The snap is perfect right at his face. It just goes through his hands. Mike Riley's got to be beside himself. His defense put in a poor position due to lack of concentration by his punter. Remember, this is their first game, but there's no excuse for dropping a snap.
O'Brien back at quarterback, shotgun. They spread the field. It's empty in the backfield. O'Brien, pitch and catch, far side. On the hands of Monte Ball. All he needs is a little room. And he slides inside the 25, a pickup of 12. When you commit to tackle Ball, you better be spot on, because he'll make you pay.
He's going to just run through arm tackles. So strong, plays with terrific balance. The strength in his lower half, break arm tackles every time.
Derek Watt, the fullback, Monte Ball, the tailback, trying to follow his blockers. They string it out again. Ball just keeps those legs churning, and he picks up 2 yards. Tamoy Payao, number 41, the middle linebacker. Oregon State fans remember him as Fedi Unga, but he's changed his name this year to honor his mother. There's Monty's numbers today. Monte with 10 carries, 32 yards. James White replaces him in the backfield. Under 6 minutes of play in the third. O'Brien throws, caught on the money at the 11-yard line. Pedersen, the tight end, number 48.
I thought Pedersen did a nice job getting open because he was covered man-to-man initially by Ryan Murphy, the safety, but he paused early in his route and gave a little juke move, allowed some separation late for O'Brien to hit him.
Second catch of the ball game for Pedersen in the red zone is Wisconsin. First and 10 to the 12. Ball spins out of a tackle past the 10 to the 9. Ryan Murphy made the initial hit.
This is when you got to be prepared for personnel. Monte Ball gets brought down, but Castro Mazzani-I, the 350-pound defensive tackle, his helmet came off. He's not in the ball game. The defensive line for Oregon State right now, very small. The offensive play call must be a between the tackles run. Take advantage of the personnel group.
Deep drop, O'Brien, flush down the pocket. Ball is out! Scott Crichton recovers the fumble. Oregon State football.
A small defensive line for Oregon, and Wisconsin doesn't take advantage. Dylan Wynn with the pressure from the right side of the defense. The backside of Danny O'Brien strips the ball. Crichton there to recover it. Both of them freshmen All-American a year ago. Dylan Wynn from Modern Day High School in California, just a technician, a great motor player. Gets the ball on the ground. Another turnover from Danny O'Brien.
That was a terrific bull rush. by Dillon. They throw it out to Hamlet, the tight end, and he'll lose a yard. So we've had turnovers. Wisconsin now with 2.
I talked about it in the 4 keys to the game. Wisconsin has been so good as far as not turning the ball over. It's been a real key to their success. Today, 2 turnovers, a fumble by O'Brien. In the previous series, the interception thrown by Danny O'Brien. But I thought that was a poor play call. You got to understand who's on the field for Oregon State. That was a very fast defensive line. They should have been able to take an advantage of the interior of that defensive line with Castro Masani-I out of the ball game. He's 350 pounds, Craig. That's a time to go ahead and pound Monte Ball right in the middle of the defense.
They said they come hard off the edge with Dylan Wynn on a bull rush. Standing tall in the pocket, ball through the hands. Incomplete. Storm Woods trying to run before he had possession. That brings up 3rd down.
Got to give a lot of credit to this Wisconsin defense. It feels like they've been on the field
all day,
the entire game. And they continue to come up with stops, force 3rd down opportunities. They've got another one here. Can they get off the field?
Eyes of Mannion, sophomore, Pleasanton, California. 3rd down and 9. Play clock at 5. Pressure from the edge. Oh, takes a shot. He sidestepped trouble, but not the second time around. That was Michael Trotter, the free safety.
Mannion eludes the initial rush, but Michael Trotter too much in the secondary rush. A delayed blitz gets Mannion to the ground, forces the punt for Oregon State.
And again, Joel, Wisconsin defensively, they come back to help out the Badgers. But the offensive end is really struggling today. Coastal, last time the ball went through his hands. This time gets the ball away. Fair catch. Takes an Oregon State bounce to the 40-yard line. Was it touched? There was orange and white jerseys piled up at the 50-yard line. He waves for the fair catch.
Did it hit?
Ooh.
Very close. David Golden, number 32, plays hot potato with the football.
As we went to break, this play went upstairs to the replay booth. It's led by Fred Gallagher from the Pac-12. And the ruling on the field is Wisconsin football. I don't see an angle. I think Mike Pereira, who's back with us in the Fox studios, would agree that does not see an angle that would be able to overturn that decision on the field. That looks close off the foot of White.
Putting the angles together, that angle, looking at Devin Golden. This angle, it doesn't seem to hit him or change direction or spin. You know, the pattern of spin that's happening with the football. I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for the officials to overturn this call. Fully expect this ball to go to Wisconsin.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. 1st down, Wisconsin.
Ruling confirmed, so Wisconsin with the football, possession at the 41-yard line.
And now it's up to Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, first-year offensive coordinator for Wisconsin, to establish Monte Ball.
He's alone back on 1st down. Now this crowd comes alive with a 10-point lead, 41-yard line, under 3 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Monte Ball cannot get out of the backfield. He'll lose a yard, back to the 40-yard line. And Fafita and Welch, who should earn a game ball for the way he's played today.
Welch has been fantastic, but Petros, Wisconsin has found no ability to find space for Monte Ball, a guy who averages 142 yards in his last 19 starts.
And the haphazard play calling, like you just said, has not established Monte Ball, and it's even tougher for the Badgers right now because their star wide receiver, Jared Aberderas, is likely not going to return to this game with a chest injury.
shotgun on second down. Pressure from the edge. Oh, they just sniff him out. Welch again puts ball down on the turf at the 35.
DJ Welch is all over the field. An open field tackle against the Heisman finalist from a year ago, and the Beavers are feeling it on the sideline.
They're doing jumping jacks down on the field, and the crowd's joining in. O'Brien gets Wisconsin back to the line of scrimmage, +1. Welch made the hit on Duckworth. And that brings up 4th down for the Badgers.
And another 3 and out. What a job by the Oregon State defense. They have been sensational today against the Heisman finalists from a year ago, Monte Ball and Wisconsin.
Now the redshirt freshman Drew Meyer out of Heartland, Wisconsin, will punt. Nice. Poyer drives himself back to the 10-yard line. Beautiful punt off the foot of Drew Meyer. Oregon State fired up in Corvallis, up by 10 on 13th ranked Wisconsin. Welcome to Fox College Football, presented by Geico. 15 minutes of football. 10-0 Oregon State. First time shutout after 3 quarters since 2005. It was against Syracuse Bank in 1997, the last time Wisconsin was shut out in a football game. That's going back 15 years. Wheaton got the ball out of the backfield, and Badgers saw it coming. They knock him down to the 20, call it the 21-yard line, and he'll lose 6 yards.
This is where Sean Mannion has to protect the football. 15 minutes to go, 1 quarter left, and you're going to upset the number 13 ranked team in the country. But mistakes like putting the ball on the ground, like what just happened in that exchange, will get you beat.
254 yards, 12 straight games with over 200 for Sean Mannion. Young sophomore pedals back, sets up a screen, a middle screen. Ward stumbles his way, go down him at the 31-yard line. Petros, give us a feel for what's going on here in quarter number 4.
Guys, we talked about it. The crowd was a little quiet in the first half, just 3-0. But now they've come to life, and just like Joel talked about, they smell an upset. But remember, Wisconsin has already been in a 4-quarter game this year. They know what it's like, and they're going to find out about their quarterback, Danny O'Brien, that transfer from Maryland right now.
Last week they gave up 3 touchdowns, remember, in the second half to Northern Iowa. As Bielema told us, they let up the pedal. They haven't pushed it down today at all. Tough throw, it's out of bounds as the pressure came on Mannion. And Wisconsin was rolling along pretty good last week. But then the 3 touchdowns that were led in the end zone by the Badger defense to make a close ball game not so close.
And some blown assignments, but the defense today has been very good. No missed assignments. In fact, on 3rd down, they've only allowed 4 of 14 conversions for Oregon State. And again, we see Oregon State out punting the football back to Wisconsin.
High snap, pressure, got the kick away, it was Coastal. And he punted that ball to the Wisconsin sideline, and they're going to mark it out of bounds, 40-yard line. So good field position for Wisconsin. Introducing the UPS Team Performance Index. It's a new statistical measure that looks at the efficiency of a team's offense, defense, special teams, and miscues to define their competitive advantage. You can check out the UPS Team Performance Index throughout the season for a look at the logistics behind a winning team. Oregon State player is down. It's number 25, Ryan Murphy.
Starting safety.
Ryan Murphy, the player being
already with an interception in this ball game.
No, injuries bit the Oregon State team pretty hard last year. Murphy out of Oakland, 6'3", free safety, 6'3". Now he's up.
Number 29, Stephen Christian, is going to be in the ball game now, the backup in the huddle for Oregon State.
Well, they're short on safeties because Anthony Watkins, the senior, he's out with a hip injury. So we were told Christian would see some time, and now with the injury to Murphy, he gets the call. James White lines up alongside O'Brien. Down by 10, they start this drive, 40-yard line. Into a pile of orange, maybe a yard. Let's take you back and check in with Patrick, and another tough week for Colorado.
In Boulder, Craig, game-winning field goal for Sac State. As the Hornets sting the Buffaloes, Edgar Castaneda, 30-yard field goal to win it. Colorado falls to 0-2 on the year and 0-2 at home. Craig, back to you.
So a last-second field goal by Sacramento State, and after losing to Colorado State last week, the Buffaloes start this season at 0-2. O'Brien throws it up top. White with the catch. Puts a hand down and gathers a few more yards down to the 46-yard line. Poyer made the tackle.
Starting to see some tempo now from Wisconsin. Quicker into the huddle, quicker out of the huddle. Danny O'Brien steps up. Nice completion to James White for a first down.
Well, the clock is no friend. Rolling up on 12 minutes to play. 7 first downs thus far for Wisconsin compared to 17 for Oregon State. O'Brien play action. Sets up at the 45. Plenty of time. Up top. And the ball is through the hands, incomplete. That was Pedersen, the tight end, trying to out-jump Christian.
Christian, the backup safety, in for this series because Ryan Murphy was down on that last punt. Because the ball hangs up in the air and is behind Pedersen, Christian then has the opportunity to come in and break that play up. So a poor throw from Danny O'Brien puts him in a tougher situation now at 2nd and 10.
Only 84 yards, 9 of 18. He threw for 219 yards last week and a pair of touchdowns. And timeout on the field called by Wisconsin. Badgers down 10. Fox College Football is sponsored by Reese's, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. And in part by the U.S. Postal Service. And by KFC. Come in today and taste why fresh is better. So you have to be surprised. James White in, Monte Ball out. 35 yards for the Heisman hopeful. 8 in the first half, 5 touches, 1 yard in the second half. With 12 minutes to play here in the fourth. O'Brien. Pressure. Throws it down on the feet along the sideline. Welch again with pressure on the quarterback. O'Brien had nowhere to go. Now Monte Ball checks in. Welch has played superb. This stat
They dropped a late flag. I don't think that the referee was able to get his flag out. He dropped his hat on the ground, and then he got his buddy, the side judge, to come over and drop his flag. He signaled a hold against Wisconsin here. So Wisconsin's going to be backed up and face a 3rd and 20 situation.
Oh, he had a hat and a beanbag and a flag down.
Holding offense, number 58. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That's the left tackle.
That tells me there was it's a second down. 2nd and 20. Correct myself. Now Danny O'Brien faces a 2nd and 20. Got to get half of this back. Give yourself a chance for 3rd down.
Quick throw. Near side. Kenzel Doe the catch. Out of bounds at the 48-yard line. You talked about getting half back. That's about exactly what Wisconsin was able to provide. Now it's 3rd down. They're 0 for 8 in this game today on 3rd down conversions.
You know, without Aberderis on the field with that chest injury, not going to return for Wisconsin. Pedersen has been their best weapon throwing the ball. Watch for Jacob Pedersen in the matchup that he has with the linebackers. Top of your screen is the tight end.
And listen to this crowd. Short, 4th down, needs a yard. Hanging tough, O'Brien threw that ball. Pedersen the catch, the tight end.
How about the tackle from Tyreek Zimmerman? Open field, Wisconsin's going for it. They want to be at the line of scrimmage right away, snap the ball.
O'Brien under center, keeper. Oh, I don't think he got it. Trying to run off the left side of Croy and Wagner. Joel, sometimes you line up a little bit too fast and even your offense doesn't know what to do. I mean, but simply, you should be able to get a yard with that front line of 327 pounds per man.
I thought O'Brien hesitated. Watch him look for a hole rather than just put his head behind his offensive line and go down. Never got his feet going. Watch them slip out from under him right here. Credit that defensive front. That's number 95, Scott Crichton. Unblocked on the edge, comes in right away to make the stop.
It's been a Crichton kind of day along with Welch. Now Oregon State with the football. Up by 10 at the 37-yard line. Woods trying to jiggle out of a tackle. He'll pick up 1, maybe 2 to the 39. O'Brien takes a seat on the bench and he's going to put the headphones on. It has been a rough day offensively for Wisconsin. 2.7 yards a play.
They've only snapped it 41 times. Oregon State, on the other hand, over 5 yards per play, 344 yards. They move the ball up and down the field, but not a lot of points to show for it.
3 wide receivers set. Blitz up the middle. Colby Prince just got the ball back to the line of scrimmage, but the Badgers came strong up the middle.
Dangerous throw. Ill-advised throw. The pirouette in the pocket, and yet he still lets the ball go across the middle, Craig. Now with 10 minutes left. This is the time to protect the football and make great decisions as a quarterback.
Mike Riley pacing. 3rd down and 10. Protecting a 10-point lead. Again, the Badgers creep up to show blitz. Here they come. Storm Woods, 1st down, 48-yard line. That's the chance you take. You bring the house, and there's something open underneath.
Woods is going to fake to the outside like he's going to run into the flat, and then he's going to come back under the defense. A lot of offenses call that a Texas route, and he runs it to perfection. The key is you must look back at the quarterback when you're faking into the flat in order to sell it to the linebackers. He does that and opens up the middle of the field for a 1st down.
1st and 10, 48-yard line of Oregon State. Oh, nearly dropped the snap, gets the ball out, far side, and 3 yards the hard way by Cooks. Mannion was able to put the hand on that handle of the football. What a terrific performance thus far. 46 pass attempts, 29 completions, 276 yards.
Freshman All-American a year ago. Continued to get better. The maturation continues for a terrific player.
8 different receivers have caught footballs for Mannion. On the edge is Cooks. Petros, you can feel it was very quiet in the first half. I don't think Oregon State fans believed. Are they believing now?
Oh, they're believing, and this crowd is getting ravenous, a lot like the Oregon State defense is playing. And this is exactly what Mike Riley was talking about with us yesterday, guys. It's so hard to get a team the caliber of Wisconsin to come into Reser Stadium and play. Usually the Beavs have to go out and play somebody, and nobody reciprocates. This is why. You're seeing it right now.
They're down 3. Manning to pump. Throws underneath through the hands, incomplete. That was on the hands of Kevin Cummings, the slot. On his back was Hillary, number 5.
Oh, those will make you tear your hair out as a coach. Everything done to perfection. The ball's in the right spot. The play call was right. The read was right. And then the ball is dropped on a 3rd down. Oregon State again has to punt. Wisconsin's defense continues to give their team a chance to win.
Coastal will try to punch it inside the 10-yard line. White will let it go, and it takes a bounce from the 1 into the end zone. Touchback. We talked about the Heisman hopeful Monte Ball. He's been unable to break through. Oregon State tied up all day. We'll be back. Welcome back. Corvallis, Oregon, Reser Stadium, and it has come alive. A sea of orange. 10-0. Oregon State over 13th ranked Wisconsin. 7:57 to play. Let me remind you, Joel Klatt, that Wisconsin has won 33 consecutive regular season non-conference games. That is in doubt with less than 8 minutes to play. O'Brien, shotgun. Incomplete. 2nd down.
I believe that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Defensive line getting their hands up. Active on the defensive front. The front 4, including Castro Masani, number 98. That guy in the middle of the defense, 350 pounds. You want to know why Wisconsin hasn't been able to run the ball? He's been terrific today.
He broke a leg last year against Brigham Young, week 6. He is back and playing extremely well in this opener. He pushes the pile, but O'Brien gets the ball away. There's a hard hit. Duckworth with the catch, and the hit by Reynolds, the right corner.
Petros, Oregon State has been very impressive today. They have made some mistakes, though. We're hoping that doesn't come back to haunt them.
It's really not been on the defensive side. They've sold out and flown around on defense beautifully. But offensively and in special teams, you have to wonder, with the drop punt, a few of the drop balls on 3rd down, we just saw one from Storm Woods, if those mistakes would have happened if Oregon State had an opportunity to play their first game against Nicholls State.
Everyone standing here in Corvallis on 3rd down 4. O'Brien sets and throws. Complete. It's caught by Monte Ball. Lost his footing short of the 1st down.
They're going to have to go for this. Down 10. They're staying on the field.
No choice for head coach Brett Bielema. Derek Watt, the fullback. Ball, the tailback. And Ball shows you his ability to break tackles off the right side, a little seam, all you need. And he's coming right at you, 14-yard gain.
Great block by the fullback on Welch. A nice hole finally for Monte Ball. He hasn't seen one all day long. Finally sees some daylight and is able to attack it up the middle for a 1st down.
Longest run of the day for Monte Ball, 14 yards, and it gives Wisconsin some new life. Off the hands of White.
Craig, coaching staff tell us Montee Ball has to touch the ball between 20, 30 times. He's ran it 14. He's only caught 3 passes, 17 touches for a Heisman finalist from a year ago. In hindsight, when they watch this game back, they're going to kick themselves for not getting Montee Ball established. This guy has scored 54 touchdowns in his 19 starts in his Badger career, and Oregon State has held him in check today.
He's also 21 straight games scoring a touchdown. So far, not today. O'Brien. Wide open, Duckworth to catch at midfield.
The offensive line starting to wear out this defensive front. Those speed rushers, Dylan Wynn from De La Salle High School, Scott Crichton, speed rushers on the outside, both freshmen All-American last year. They've been unable to get pressure on Daniel Bryan during the course of this series.
2 turnovers committed by Wisconsin in this ball game. They're inside Oregon State territory at the 48-yard line. O'Brien sets his feet, throws in traffic, nearly intercepted by Murphy. That would have been his 2nd interception of the afternoon.
And it should have been. It hit him right in the hands. Watch him read the eyes of O'Brien and jump back into the throwing lane. Tries to catch it against his pads instead of into his hands. Ryan Murphy could have sealed it down with that one.
Again, Wisconsin faced with 4th down. They're 1 of 2 on conversions. They need a yard. On the hands, Montee Ball, you got to go to him. That ball popped free for a moment. Concentration, he brought it back in, and the Badgers continue to push the football down the field.
I love the route by number 15, Jeff Duckworth. You see him pick off the defender's man coverage, allowing Ball to be open in the flat.
5 wide receiver set. 9th play of this drive. O'Brien takes the snap, fires a dart on the money to Duckworth. They're chipping away, Joel. 4 or 5 yards a pop. They'll be 2nd down and 5.
I like the way Wisconsin is going about this because O'Brien does have a sense of urgency. You see the tempo. There's not a lot of time, but it's just a 10-point game. Take what they give you.
Under 5 minutes left. O'Brien. Good protection. Good coverage downfield. Flushed. Pointing, throwing, incomplete. Fafita. Relentless. Pressuring O'Brien.
Petros, this is when it's so important to have those great corners. They can cover guys up. They can play man-to-man, and Oregon State has them in Reynolds and as well as Jordan Poyer.
And Rashad Reynolds has ended up making a lot of tackles because they're trying to pick on him. He's doing a great job. They're just not even throwing at Jordan Poyer. He is that good, guys. He locked down a whole side of the field.
11th play of this drive. The clock is under 5 minutes. Low snap. O'Brien going up top. Rashad Reynolds right on the hip of Montee Ball. Just able to tip it away.
It's exactly what we've been talking about. The ability to cover man-to-man. Reynolds step for step with Montee Ball. No chance for the completion near the goal line.
Put that big mitt right between the 2 hands of Montee Ball. 4th down. So far on this drive, Wisconsin 2 for 2. They need 4 yards. Flag on the far side.
Illegal shift, offense. Penalties decline. 1st down, Oregon State.
4 minutes from an upset in Corvallis. Mike Riley, he felt good yesterday. It could come to fruition. Oregon State will punt away with 3:02 left. Make sure you stay tuned. Coming up right after we're done here in Corvallis, the AT&T postgame show. Patrick O'Neill, Joey Harrington, Eddie George will be in the studio to recap it. The Tide rolls, and Oregon State's trying to roll. That one came off the side of the foot. Gets a little bounce up to around the 35-yard line. As we're Wisconsin down 10, we'll start this drive with 2:55 to play. There are no timeouts remaining for the Badgers. 2 should Oregon State need them. And now it's the focus. The pressure lands on the man who transferred from Maryland, Danny O'Brien. Very little offense to speak of today for Wisconsin. Monte Ball alongside. Now he goes in motion. Low snap. O'Brien sets, throws up top. Ball. The intended receiver. There's a flag out. And they flag DJ Welch for contact. Pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense, number 4. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Little bump, little push. They both look for the ball.
There's definitely a little contact, but DJ Welch goes back for the ball. That's not a penalty. That is a poor call by the officials in a big moment in this game. That was terrific coverage by DJ Welch.
O'Brien back to work. Slingshots into the near side. Duckworth the catch. And they're going to continue to run the clock. Did not get out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Second down 3. Badgers need to hurry. They're down 10, 2:30 to play. O'Brien throws on the money, complete. And that stops the clock. Duckworth the catch. 2:21 to play. And again, the AT&T postgame show straight ahead after we finish here. Disappointing start for Penn State. It continues. And right here, the upset of the day in college football is 2:14 away. Flag is down far side. Duckworth stumbles and is tackled in the 23.
Offside. Defense, number 78. Penalties to decline. Second down.
Well, an interesting drive here for Wisconsin. A lot of flags out. Badgers trying to take advantage as they move the football. O'Brien sets and throws. A one-hopper incomplete. That was A.J. Jordan, the intended receiver.
I'm surprised that they've stayed with the free access or the deep responsibilities for both corners. You've got Rashad Reynolds and Jordan Poyer having to give a lot of cushion, allowing Wisconsin to just throw the ball underneath rather than playing the nice umbrella cover 2, which would allow those corners to play up tight to the line of scrimmage.
Ball carries the ball past the 15 to the 11. That was the first third down conversion converted by Wisconsin in this football game.
Got to score quickly. 2-possession game.
O'Brien in the pocket, end zone. Nearly intercepted, incomplete. Rashad Reynolds. I'll tell you, Duckworth came back to play some defense and wrapped him up.
He had to. This ball was thrown all the way behind him. Really poor throw from Danny O'Brien. Reynolds had a great chance at this. Duckworth turns into the best defender on the field on that play. Knocks the ball away from Reynolds.
O'Brien barking out the play, 7th play of this drive. 2nd down at the 12-yard line. Badgers down 10. The clock hits 1:41 left. O'Brien in the pocket, looking to the end zone. Up top! Incomplete! Through the hands of A.J. Jordan.
How about Danny O'Brien comes back and throws an absolute strike to A.J. Jordan. Perfect right over the linebackers. Felt like that ball should have been caught.
Third down and 10. 5 wide, receiver set. Empty backfield. O'Brien, the pump, the throw. Touchdown, Badgers. He goes to the tight end, Pedersen. And that long offensive drought comes to an end with 1:30 to play.
Trying to find their best outside offensive weapon, Jacob Pedersen, and they're able to do that. Right across the middle of the field. Good field awareness by Pedersen, knowing where the goal line is for the touchdown.
Kyle French will try the point after. Chip shot, splits the uprights. And an onside kick you could bet coming up for Wisconsin. Down 3 on Fox.
So we all set?
I've got 2 tickets to paradise. Pack your bags, we'll leave tonight.
It's next month, actually.
Paradise.
No, 4, remember?
You know, Ronnie, folks who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sure are happy. And how happy are they, Jimmy? Happier than any money running a travel agency.
Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
1:31 remaining. Here in the 4th quarter, Wisconsin, late touchdown.
Quickly, a lot of people don't know this. There's a rule change in college football. If this ball's kicked directly into the ground to promote that high bounce, the receiving team will have a chance to make a fair catch. That is a new rule this year.
A little dribble. It gets the 10 yards. Ball's down. Who's got it? They're going to peel them off one by one. Wisconsin points one way. Oregon State the other. Badger football.
Got to go 10 yards. Looks like French just slid around it. Wow, athletic play from the kicker.
That ball had to go 10 yards. It looks like he did that hook slide around about 11 yards in.
Oh, it looked like it may have touched his left arm. What a great look from our camera crew. That ball had to go past the 45-yard line before Wisconsin could touch it. And it looked like in that last look that the left arm.
Yes, it went 9 yards, and it is under a review in the booth.
Watch Kyle French's left arm when he slides around this ball. It's down on the ground right there.
Joel, when you look at this, did it go back and did it bounce past and came back? Did it hit number 8 for Oregon State?
That is very tough to tell, and the ruling on the field is Wisconsin ball, so they're going to have undisputable video evidence to overturn this. That's going to be very tough to overturn. Kyle French.
Let's bring in the officiating guru, Mike Pereira, back in our Los Angeles studios. Mike, how do you see this?
Well, you're absolutely right when you're talking about you need indisputable visual evidence. This is a huge play, but I think you have it because even though the shot is not down the line, it looks to me like you can see the ball being touched before it gets to that yard stripe. So before it gets to the 45-yard line, because unfortunately you lose a little bit of vision here when 12 crosses right in front of the screen, but when it pops up there, look at the left arm touch the ball. So the only thing they might look at is, did the ball cross before he actually touched it with the left arm? Boy, I don't know. There's another shot that you could take a look at, and it looks really close. But to me, it actually gets touched. This is...
No, Mike, looking at that...
This does not even tell you again.
That's tough, isn't it, Mike?
I mean, they even look at that, and was it even touched by the receiving team first? Very, very close. But here's the key. They've got to get the indisputable visual evidence that it was touched by the kickers first before it actually hit the front part of that line. That's a plane. The 45-yard line is a plane, so they have to prove that it was touched before it actually broke that plane.
Well, here's a question, too. Did Zimmerman here for Oregon State touch that ball and then deflect it back out around 9 yards instead of the 10-yard rule?
If he does, then it's a live ball.
After review, it was determined number 94 of the kicking team touched the ball. The illegal touching gives the ball at the 44-yard line.
Mike, I think that they were looking exactly at what you did on the first look. It's Kyle French's left arm, like you saw and you told us right away.
Yeah, it was that high shot, the one that to me that shows that it touched that left arm and wasn't touched by the kickers. A lot of close things that they had to look at there, but hey, the game's on the line on this play, and they got that good look and they make the right call. And you know, with this new rule, this is the type of onside kick that you're going to see a lot of now. They're not going to kick those high bouncers like you talked about, Joel, and you'll see a lot of these really tough ones just like that.
Mike, thanks for your insight. 1:31 left to play in this one. It's a 3-point game. And now Oregon State trying to protect the football. Remember, there are no timeouts remaining for Wisconsin. And Joel, this is such an interesting ball game. Very little offense, but then big plays and big decisions in the booth will impact the finish, and I'm sure it will be talked about during the week.
Especially because of that touchdown from O'Brien to Pedersen, drawing them within 3. They had the momentum offensively. You got the feeling that they were going to at least get themselves into somewhat of a kicking opportunity, but it goes the other way upstairs, and Oregon State is going to knock off their 10th ranked team in the last 8 years under Mike Riley.
Flags fly. This Big Ten officiating crew has been challenged today, led by Mike Cannon. So that last call, difficult. A game of high stakes.
Offside. Defense number 53 with contact. The penalty includes a 10-second runoff. Please set the game clock to 38 seconds. Ready for play clock will be at 40 seconds.
Mike Riley, he looked confident in his offense yesterday.
You talked about it.
Oh, yes.
He absolutely did. He feels better now.
Yes.
Trust me, there's no anxiety now, but yesterday we sat in his offense, and he had that smile on his face. He said, guys, I know we were 3-9 a year ago, but I feel good about that. And Mark Banker did a heck of a job today as well.
Now the final seconds are running off, and they're going to storm the field. Upsetting Corvallis. Sean Mannion led the way. I know it's said over and over again, Joel Clapp, but this is why you play him every Saturday. 10-7 Oregon State. And a happy Mike Riley on the field with Petros Papadakis.
Coach, just talk about how gratifying this win was and how tough it was to hang on at the end.
Well, it was tough, and it was going to get scary there. It looked like they had touched the ball early, but that was my perspective. But a great job by our football team today.
Well, you talked to us yesterday. You talked about how you felt good about this football team. What gave you that confidence? You didn't even get to play your opener last week.
Well, you know, if you can go on what they've been doing, you know, which is working hard, no distractions, a lot of good football in practice, I think I've got a good sense about this club. So we'll just see if we can keep going.
What does this mean for the Beavs going forward? And what does this mean for the program as a whole? You get Wisconsin to come in here and you beat them in your house.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate Wisconsin coming here. We don't get a lot of our play, so I appreciate coming here. You know, it's the biggest non-league game we've ever had in this stadium. Highest ranked. It was a great deal. So we're excited about this, obviously.
Congratulations, Coach, and enjoy it tonight. Thanks a lot.
Mike Riley, Petros, thank you. Celebration continues, and it will probably continue throughout the night.
You bet.
In Corvallis.
As it should.
Time now for today's Reese's Perfect Play. One touchdown, Mannion to Cooks. A 20-yarder to put him up 10.
Sean Mannion was terrific today. Freshman All-American a year ago. I think Mike Riley was confident because of that young man. He knew that he had a quarterback that was going to be able to go out there and handle the pressure of a 13th ranked team in the country, and they got it done. 10-7.
Mannion, 276 yards. We'll come back to Corvallis. The Beavers win by 3.